Well, that wasn't on the slate. That was an early game.
Oh, that was the other one. That's probably why I didn't even notice it.
All right, boys. Let's get going here. All right, let's do this. Swing for the fences. Holden Kushner, Big T, JSU. We got a little breaking news before this thing started. The Mets went to Miami, and they got the COVID. They got a player and somebody else in the organization. So there is no Mets-Marlins game. This was not on the main slate, guys, so don't worry about that. But get ready because the Mets have a huge series coming up against the Yankees, the Subway Series. I got a hard time believing that thing's going off on time. And listen, to all our Florida viewers, if your state falls in the ocean, that's less COVID. So that's where I'm standing on this. What's up, JSU? We got a big slate tonight. Oh, not a big slate. We got 8 games. It's kind of a nice 8 games. I like an 8-game slate. What are some of your overall views on this one?
Yeah, well, first, it's nice to get on here and talk a little baseball. You know, I've been getting on the basketball show a lot, so it's good to switch it up a little bit and get on the baseball show with you guys. Yeah, the slate's going to be interesting. You know, we've got some, solid pitchers at the top. My guy Beebs at the top, just a stud. Not Kershaw because I'm not a Kershaw fan, so I don't care about him. But, we got some decent pitchers. I like this slate. It's going to be interesting. I can't wait to kind of dig into it with you guys and, pick some winners. Last time I was on the show, me and Tony, we figured out the White Sox and they smashed. So I'm hoping we do that again.
And they've been smashing every day since then.
Yeah,
they just keep hitting bombs.
They got out today, too. They should have had a 3-run home run. The wind blew it back in. They should have scored like 8 runs. Anyways, Big T, you're looking at this slate. What are some of your initial thoughts?
Yeah, so first of all, it's good to see JSU on the afternoon with us. I know I've been kind of I like going back and forth. You talk a little hoops one day, talk some baseball. We play all the sports, so it's fun to kind of mix it up. I mean, it's fun. It's great. We both love hoops, me and JSU the most, but it's still fun to shake it up a little, talk some baseball coming in the afternoon. And tonight, I mean, we got one of the better pitching slates I've seen, I think, as far as upside at the top. Like, we got some big time upside. We haven't seen that on a few of the shows I've done lately. And I love the 8 games too, like Holden said, where usually it's like 12, 13. I think that's a little too much. Or you get like the 4 or 5 gamers like we've had during some of the day slates where that's too little. I don't necessarily like that. But these 8 games are the sweet spot, especially when we got offense in some games. We got pitching in other spots. This is like a dream slate for me.
Yep. And again, there's no Mets and Marlins, which was not on the main slate. Looks like leprosy has just hit everywhere in Major League Baseball at this point. It's like we can't go 2 weeks without another outbreak. Anyways, we're playing tonight. We're looking forward to it. Let's get into this 8-game slate. And we start with the pitching. JSU, it's about the Biebs, right? I mean, what's your plan of attack in GPPs, though? Because Bieber, by far, this guy's got a 43% K rate in his first 5 starts. He's got 54 strikeouts for his first 5 starts. Only Nolan Ryan in 1973 and Pedro in 2001 have done as much as Bieber's doing right now.
Yeah, I mean, how can you argue with what Shane Bieber's doing? Like, I love him today. I play him all the time, though. So, like, I'm a big Shane Bieber fan. He's had double-digit strikeouts in 3 of his 5 starts. No more than 8 at least strikeouts in all 5. I mean, this dude's a stud. Pittsburgh's not a lineup we're worried about or scared of at all. And then, after him, you get Kershaw. And I'm not a Kershaw fan. I don't normally play Clayton Kershaw. He does get a real easy matchup, though, against Seattle. Another thing, I expect him to be very popular as well, just with the matchup. It seems like everyone plays pitchers against Seattle anyways. And then you got Kershaw. So, he's going to be popular. I'm definitely going to be leaning more towards Bieber, though. I'm not going to have probably any Kershaw. I think I'm just going to plant my flag here at the top with Bieber, unless Tony can talk me into like maybe a double stud build, that I was on yesterday, and I think he was on too, which did all right. So I don't know. I mean, let's see what Big T can talk me into. But right now, my idea is I'm going, at the top at least, I'm pretty much going Bieber, and that's about it in this 9K and up range.
No Sonny Gray. T, what about Sonny Gray, man?
The pitching is just awesome on this slate at the top. It really is. And so Kershaw, I'm not a Kershaw guy either for the most part. But, man, when I look at the projections around today, you look all around. His projection pops off the page. You look at his 3 games. He struck out 6 all 3 games. He's gone, 28 points, 27. Then he had the game versus San Fran where he got blown up a little bit, only scored 9. That was against Wilmer and Ruff, though, the 2 lefty the 2 goats. So that was understandable. But I don't know. It's really hard for me to play Kershaw over Bieber. And then, like you just said, though, we got Sonny Gray, who honestly has maybe been right there with Bieber as one of the best pitchers in baseball. He's been just so good. And he's got a pretty good matchup against the Cards. And then you throw in Lamet, too, who, if I could pick a matchup in baseball, Texas honestly might be my favorite matchup. They don't have anything that scares me. This park is good for pitching, obviously, in San Diego. I look at the Texas lineup tonight. I do like Danny Santana against righties. Gallo obviously has some power. Odor is decent. But, the bottom of that lineup is real bad. So I think that's the decision points at the top. We got 4 guys that honestly could all go for 30 fantasy points on DK. Massive games on FanDuel too. We got to decide. It's a tough one tonight. There's a lot of good pitching up there.
It is. So here's the next little tier that I want to talk to you about. JSU, maybe you can hop on in this first because you have Barrios, who has really struggled with the walks, but we know this kid has a pedigree, right? So he's off to a slow start. And on the other side, it's Gosman. Kevin Gosman, if you look down a little bit, his K rate is up as well. Either one of those guys, and if we're not going that direction, is there anybody mid-tier you can point out?
Yeah, well, I think the reason why I'm not going to be playing Sonny Gray is because I'm on Lamet, who at 8,500, to me, I just love the price. I love him as a pitcher against Texas. Tony talked about it. Good matchup. I'm going to be on Lamet. I think Lamet and Bieber, is the 2 guys I'm going to be overweight on today. And then, Barrios, I don't know. He's just got a control issue. Hasn't shown crazy upside, this season. I'm probably going to stay away. To me, Woodruff gets a tough matchup against Minnesota. I never want to pick on Minnesota, but at least Woodruff has K upside. It's just Minnesota's, obviously a tough team to go against. I don't know. And then Kevin Gausman, last time out I played him. I know Tony was on him too against Oakland. A little tougher matchup here, but I think you could still look to him at 6,500. The price is still cheap. If I was going that low, I think it would be him down there that I see.
You can't afford Bieber and Lamet and have a decent stack on DraftKings, can you?
You haven't done the shows with us. We can find some.
Yesterday you pivoted. In there. Well, I know. And yesterday you pivoted to DeGrom and who else was it? And Cole. Right. So I know you guys do it. I just want to know how you do it, T.
I am I don't. It's bad to say famous for doing it, but that's what I like to do in baseball. I like to play some greasy pit. And I honestly was weird yesterday because I didn't start out wanting to do that. And then it just kind of fell in where the game I loved, Washington, was going to get rained out or it looked really bad. So I needed to pivot and it just worked out. But you can always find cheap hitters. They're just always out there. You got the Reds tonight in a decent spot. You look at the bottom of the lineup when we get to these teams, but those prices are really, really cheap. And I don't mind going to spots like that. So we can get into it. But like JSU was talking about at the bottom, Eovaldi and Gausman, 6,500, 5,900. Really good matchups too. I know Baltimore's hit good, but 5,900 for a guy that does have the ability to throw it 100, get some strikeouts. Pitching is tough tonight because it's the opposite of when it's really bad. You got legitimately 6 or 7 guys that are elite options.
All right, guys. Here's what we got. We got 34 likes. Big T's here, so I can't lower it to 100. So we got to go back to 150. So you better move your T. I'm sorry, man. I was doing 100 when you were gone. I was like, he's going to Costco anyways to just mail him. Just go to Costco, get 600 of them. I don't know where you're going. Anyways, hit the like button. If you haven't already subscribed, do that too. And you get some Run Pure gear. One of you is going to do it if we hit 150 today. Are we done with pitching? Anything else you guys want to cover before we move on? Because T, you kind of went down lower. JSU, I'm just not hearing from you that you're going to go down to that second or third tier tonight.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm definitely going to have, Eovaldi and some Gaussman. But, I mean, the two pitchers I'm going to be the most overweight on is definitely Lamet and Bieber. And like Tony said, we can find cheap hitters. Like, we have no problem. Like, yesterday I found some cheap Giants to make my stack work. Like, we'll find them. You know what I mean? The Darren Ruffs, the Wilmer Flores, Austin Slaters. Like, I'll find them out. So, and Tony's famous for it. Like, he's famous for the cheap stack. So that's what he does. So
I know.
I'm waiting.
I know. And, the Giants will be somebody we talk about a little bit later on too, because they got a juicy matchup again. And people sleep on they don't realize that these guys have some bats that they could put some runs up. All right. So I have a feeling I know where this build is going now. Just pay $1 trillion for your pitching and figure out some scrubs that you always play.
But Eovaldi is in play. Like, he has a really, really good matchup. But again, he's volatile, throws a ton of fastballs. Like, he could get hit even against this crappy Baltimore team. But
the problem
crappy Baltimore team. What? These guys are awesome.
What?
Oh, okay.
There's a couple of guys like Santander every night.
All right. Yeah, he's a good hitter, but this lineup in general, you're just going to go in on this lineup. You're going to say that Eovaldi gets shelved?
No, I'm not going to say that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what? Yeah, Santander's a good hitter, but like, you're saying that Baltimore as a lineup is a scary lineup. Is that what you're saying?
I think you are not giving them the credit they deserve. No. These guys could blow up. They're a blow-up team.
Now I'm going to have to play Eovaldi just to plant my flag.
Yeah.
Sir Alberto was talking to you today when he said no one's giving us respect and we're going to prove you wrong. He has a picture of JSU in his bathroom. Every morning he's like, I'm going to prove you wrong.
I will say, too, Eovaldi did handle this matchup the first time they played. They're just saying. So.
All right. Listen to JSU. Don't listen to me. Big T. We haven't even gotten to Baltimore offense yet. So let's just start with our offense. And we'll get to the first game, Cleveland-Pittsburgh. So we're probably crossing Pittsburgh off the list. Maybe you got a one-off there. But the Cleveland offense tonight with an interesting matchup. They actually have shown a pulse recently, which is really, really good to see. They do have Trevor Williams this evening. Trevor Williams shouldn't really scare anybody. Big T, this Cleveland offense, and if you have anything from the Pittsburgh side.
Yeah, so there's no way I'm playing Cleveland bats. I mean, you could get leverage, I guess, if you somehow like Pittsburgh. I never mind to do that, but this isn't going to be the spot. Bieber's been too good. And, yeah, I mean, Cleveland, it looks like a good spot on paper, but Trevor Williams is one of those guys that I just don't like to stack against. He doesn't feel great, and he isn't great. But I just feel like he never, I don't know. It's just something about him. He's one of those guys that I feel like never gives up a GPP winner the other way. But, I mean, the same dude as always. My man Naquin against righties, 3,300, another type hitter that you can put in there that can get you a bomb, and he fits with the two-stud approach. It's 3,300. It fits perfect +1. He'll be somewhat low-owned. I think he's my only guy in this game.
JSU.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not picking on Bieber. From the Cleveland side, I kind of agreeing with Tony that Trevor Williams, although I won't be rostering him, he's just one of those guys who he seems to, just not give up a ton, where I think if you're going to roster someone, you want to do like a one-off or a mini stack at most. I don't think I'm going to have anything more. And it would be one of these cheap Cleveland bats. Yeah, Naquin, Domingo Santana, someone like that I would take as like a one-off. But I'm not high on this game in general outside of Bieber as the pitcher.
Well, let's stick with you here, JSU, because we got the Mariners tonight. And they're going up against Mr. Kikuchi. So we got a Dodgers team going up against left-handers. What's the approach here? They're going to be chalky tonight. So you're playing tournaments. How much exposure can you have? Is there anybody in particular you don't like from this lineup? Because I think there's a lot more to like than to not like.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta like the lineup. You gotta like this team. The problem is they're going to be chalky. We've talked about it before. I think the way to do it, though, is I think you got to look at kind of towards the bottom of the lineup. I'm not going to stack 1 through 5 or 1 through 4. I'm probably going to get a little different and, I don't know, get a little creative. I still haven't gotten my Dodger stack set up yet, but I'm definitely going to have like Taylor in it. I'm definitely going to have someone like Kiki. So I'm probably looking at like the 5, 6, 7, because I think Muncy won't be that, and maybe Turner. So I don't know. So it's looking like somewhere between like that 3 and 7. I'll probably have in my lineup something like that. But I'm not going to have like 1 through 5. It's going to be very popular tonight.
How do you do this, Big T? How do you get in there and get some Dodgers in your lineup?
I mean, first of all, the hard part with the night is we got all this good pitching. We're going to find out quickly that there's not as much hitting because of all the pitching on the slate. And the Dodgers are going to be mega chalk. And I like Kikuchi. I've said it all year. I think he's way better than people think he is. He got scratched his last start, so I don't even know what was wrong with him. So I might need to check into that more. But no matter what, you got a park that I don't love. You got a mega chalk team that's going to be like maybe one of the chalkiest spots we've seen all season because these prices, like these guys are way too cheap. Chris Taylor, Pollock, and then the other guys you can fit too by playing because we got the 2 cheap pitchers, Eovaldi and Gaussman. So the Dodgers are going to be way more chalky than I'm interested in, and I'll be completely fading them. And honestly, if the pitching wasn't as good as it was, I would think about rostering Kikuchi. I'm not going to because the pitching's incredible. But if it was a different slate that I didn't have these options, he's 5,700. I would think about rostering him. So that's why I like slates like this. I have no interest in the Dodgers, and they're going to be the chalkiest team on the slate by a mile. So, yeah, I mean, this game is a pretty easy fade for me. And obviously, I don't love Kershaw usually, but like we said, the projections look really good today for him. He's looked good this year except for the one bad start. So I'm not going to play Seattle either. It just looks like a clear fade for me. But I get it. I mean, if you're a chalky type people, like our man Titletown, like I guarantee Titletown's just he's 6 to midnight right now looking at this Dodgers spot, just freaking loving life. I mean,
he's gonna be all in.
Oh,
he's gonna be all in on this stack. Like
he's
absolutely all
in. He's fondling himself right now looking at this Dodgers spot. I am not on the Dodgers.
All right. And then, a couple things about Kikuchi. First of all, was his neck. His neck was bothering him, so they just scratched him on
fire. Get a little masseuse to get in there and
yeah, maybe
get a little masseuse.
Yeah, little
did he go to Bobby Kraft's place or was it a different place?
That's down in Florida too. I think they all got COVID. So
they're rich though. I mean, he can get there if need be.
Hey, so that was did you know? And you love Kikuchi. He is one of 2 pitchers to not give up a barrel this year. At least 3 starts. So
I think Kikuchi is. I can't wait until like next start when he gets a good matchup or whenever he gets the next good spot, I can use him. I can't wait because I like Kikuchi a lot. I wouldn't mind him getting beat up a little so I can keep him as my hidden gem.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say you want him to actually get hit a little, get pulled early. Like that's
not tonight because I'm going to fade the Dodgers. So don't get completely pounded.
and the Dodgers have the cheap catcher, which everyone loves playing the cheap catcher. He's a righty versus a lefty. He's going to be very popular.
Chris Taylor's 3,100. Like everyone's going to play him and Pollock. Like everyone's going to play those 2. Like they're going to be so high on.
Well, here's my other question then. Just from the Seattle side, nobody wants to touch it. And it's the great Clayton Kershaw, who at this point is better in real life than he is in fantasy, I think, consistently. But there's guys like Austin Nola and Kyle Seager. I mean, can you make a case for any one-off on the Mariners side, guys? JSU's just giving me the shut up already.
I don't understand. Like, I wouldn't do it. Okay. Honestly, again, I don't like Kershaw, but at the same time, like you said, he's like a better real life pitcher right now than fantasy guy. Like, he's not racking up a ton of Ks. He gets a ton of ground balls though. And Seattle's nothing. I don't think you need them on this slate. I wouldn't do it.
If you're going to do anyone, make sure you get power like we did the one night with Wilmer and Ruff and these guys. So Kyle Lewis would be the guy. I mean, it is decent leverage. No one's going to play him. You're not going to play guys like the Dylan Moore and these speed guys. Like, you need power, because if you beat him, just hope you hit a bomb and you get there at low ownership. So I don't think it's a good play, but Kyle Lewis would be the guy.
All right, so we got Milwaukee, Minnesota. This is what I'm really looking forward to hearing you guys' thoughts on how you attack Barrios tonight. Then we know the walk rate is up. The xFIP is almost 5. He's really struggling, almost 12% walk rate. He's not giving up a lot of fly balls, which is good news, but he's also getting crushed. He's getting hit hard. So he has taken a big step back early goings here. And on the Minnesota side, I mean, again, some of us always throw Minnesota stack in. I might not even do that tonight against Brandon Woodruff in his 29% K rate. So JSU, I want to know how you attack the Brewers hitters. Is there any reason to go there tonight against a struggling Barrios?
Well, I mean, first off, Brandon Woodruff is a good pitcher. Like, I'm with you. I normally want to stack the Twins as much as possible too, but I'm not going to do it against Woodruff. I think he's a really, really good pitcher. So I won't go there, but I think you can go on this slate. I think I would prefer going against Barrios as opposed to like a Kershaw. Like, I'd much rather have these Milwaukee bats against Barrios, where, I mean, I don't know like how much ownership they're going to get, but they can't be like crazy high owned against Barrios. And he's struggled with his, walks and everything like that. And like you said, he's been getting hit hard. I don't mind it today. Milwaukee is an interesting stack to me. I think it'd be a little different in tournaments, so I like it.
T, how you doing this? Can you go for a little Justin Smoke today?
So I feel like we'll point people in the right direction, because, I mean, it sounds like I feel like I'm fading everything, but we do have a few spots in a minute. Like, I know Barrios hasn't been great, but man, Milwaukee sucks on offense. I just.
They do, but wouldn't you rather them over Seattle? Like, if you had
I would play him over Seattle, of course. Yeah, like
I'm saying, like, if you had to attack a top pitcher tonight, like one of these top pitchers, I think Barrios is the guy at the top.
Yeah, like I agree with that. It's just, man, like, this lineup is, Yelich is really, really good for a +1, but besides him, I mean, Avi Garcia has always been way better against lefties. Oh, man, this lineup is terrible. I can't play Milwaukee, and I definitely can't play Minnesota against Woodruff because he's just good. So I know it's boring, but man, I don't like either of these offenses.
All right, we got 5 more games. You guys will find one offense you like. I don't think there's any doubt about it. Especially
did we talk about Boston? Did we?
Well, we're right here.
We're right now.
This is it, dude.
Okay.
We're going Boston, Baltimore.
I got you.
So
I thought I remembered us talking about Eovaldi. I must have.
Well, we did pitching wise.
We were talking about pitching, and then Holden had to bring up Baltimore, that they were the greatest offense that has ever played in my mouth.
But
what does TT Boy think of Boston?
Hey, TT Boy.
I was dying. We were talking about it last night. That's funny stuff.
Yeah, because you're an old guy too. I mean, we've got some OGs in here, and guarantee you JSU had no idea who TT Boy was.
No, I had to look him up.
No way. You're going on the internet, clicking classic films, and then doing. You have no idea. Anyways, off of TT Boy for a second. Big T, do you like anything besides for Anthony Santander tonight? Or do you even like Santander? I love Santander because
anyone that knows me knows I like these hot hitters, and man, he has been. So let's pull him up real quick. We got 4,300, but so listen to those last games: 9, 35, 10, 28, 9, 14, 11, 19, 16, 7. His worst game since the 9th has been 7, and he's got 3, 6, 7 double-digit games. You literally can't be hotter than that. Like, that's just flaming hot, and you have to consider him. And this whole Baltimore offense is it's one of those teams that I don't really like to just +1 it, but you just play them and you don't feel great about it. But they've been scoring so many runs that you have to just go with it that they've been hot. And Eovaldi, we did talk about how we like him, but it's not like this dude hasn't got to hit hard at times. When he doesn't get any movement, like he's got pounded before. And I don't hate Baltimore. We don't have much offense tonight, so we got to find somewhere. And Baltimore, honestly, isn't the worst spot. The prices are up, though, is the tricky part, where these good guys at the top that we like, they've been hot, so they're actually priced like it. I mean, up in the mid 4Ks, they're not priced in the 3Ks where they were for a while.
Rio Ruiz, other guys, Severino has got a little bit of power too. JSU, if you just want to crush me for even bringing up Baltimore again, I'm all for it. It's down with it.
It's fine. I already did it. I'm good. So Baltimore for me, I think I'm on the opposite side of Tony, where I think outside of like maybe like a 1 or 2 bats, I'm just going to stay away because, like Tony said, these guys have all kind of gotten priced in that like mid 4K range, except for a couple of them where I just don't know, outside of like Santander, just because he's been so hot. I don't know if I'm going to pay the price tags for these guys. If they were in like a few of them were more in the 3K range where it'd be a little easier for me to stack, I'd probably have one, but I'm just going to stay off outside of maybe a one-off.
Okay, so the other side, Asher Wojciechowski, this guy just at any point in time could be a complete gas can. Like he should just get completely lit up. I can't stand him. And there's only 2 teams with an implied total of 5 runs or more, and Boston is one of them, Big T. Can you trust the Red Sox?
So my biggest issue with the Red Sox, honestly, is these prices. I mean, 5.6, 5.4, 5.5, 5.1. Are you kidding me? Like, what is this, Coors Field? I know that Baltimore's a decent park and Woj hasn't been great, but I'm not paying these prices for a Boston team that's let us down all year. I mean, it's a decent spot, but I'm not going to give up pitching, which we think is loaded. Guys like Bieber, Lamet, Sonny Gray, who I love. I'm not giving up those guys to play 5.4 Devers and 5.1 Christian Vasquez. Like, I'm just not doing it. I mean, sure, they could blow up. They're going against Woj in a good park. It's like we talk about every day in baseball. You got to fade some tricky spots in baseball, and I don't like the Dodgers and I don't like Boston tonight. So tonight's going to be interesting. We might win some tournaments or we might finish dead last.
Hey, were the Sox your team, JSU? Is that your team?
No. I don't have a team. I play DFS.
No, when you were growing up, I said, did you have, were they your team?
Yeah, of course. I was the Red Sox, Celtics, Patriots, all those guys. Yeah.
It's all over now. You can't root for any teams. You just
I don't. I root for individual players because I have biases, but that's about it. DFS. So for Boston, I totally agree with Tony. And if I was going to play any Red Sox, it would be over on FanDuel where they're affordable. Like the prices over there are ridiculous. Devers is 2,800 or Devers, and then he's over 5K on DraftKings. Like, just go play the Red Sox on FanDuel. Like, don't touch them on DraftKings. No way I'm playing the Red Sox on DraftKings. Just way too high price tags. So that's my thought on them.
Well, so just to talk, we should talk more about FanDuel because I've always had more success on FanDuel because honestly, you can play whoever you want on FanDuel, which I've always been better suited with my style to play that type of game because it just leads to more chalk. Like when you can play whoever you want, like these people just play the Dodgers. Like I guarantee our main man TT boy is playing 4 Dodgers with 3 or 4 Boston guys. And it's just so easy to fit. And on the surface, you're like, well, yeah, why wouldn't I play it? The 2 best stacks and I can play it with Bieber. But when you get into game theory, which we're trying to teach people at Run Pure Sports, it's what we do. I mean, sure, we can finish last. People make fun of us. It won't be the first time, won't be the last time. But, you have to know the game theory. When these teams don't do as good and we hit our other stacks like these teams will get to, and they're 2% owned, or when we go to the bottom of the lineup and play Boston but play Pilar and Peraza and Jackie Bradley, and these guys are 3% owned on FanDuel when the guys up top are 30%, you have so much better of a chance at winning a tournament. And I mean, it's just I think FanDuel is a massive edge because of that. Because you can literally play whoever you want every night. There's always dudes that are 2.5 that should be 4K. So there's way more game theory on FanDuel than DK.
So, going back, maybe we can get to the one pitcher because we talked about Bieber and we talked about Lamet, JSU. Maybe we need to circle around to that before we go. But that game is done with Boston and Baltimore. We'll move on to the next one. Hey, guys, again, don't be a jabroni. Just hit the like button. We're at 69. We need 150. And then one of you guys is going to get some do we have any women viewers? Like, what are we doing here? Maybe we need Mangone to come on here so the ladies just turn it on.
That isn't going to help us. What do you mean? We need TT Boy. TT Boy should bring the ladies.
TT Boy.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really knows TT Boy very well. He doesn't even know he's named TT Boy yet. So, and TT Boy's Puerto Rican. That was a complete shock there. He was like the Puerto Rican porn star of the 80s and 90s. So hit the like button. I'm sorry.
I will say something about this gear too, because we weren't necessarily. It's the first time we've ordered a bunch of gear. We got way too many little sizes, so we might have to have a few days where like we say only. Whoever wears a small can win, that type of thing, because we're running out of the big boy sizes.
That's terrific. Do you have like kid sizes, or are they just
like little sizes? Like what do you have? Just a ton of schmediums?
Oh, we got like probably 5 or 10 small and mediums though, and not many. I'm not going to give out all the people on this list, but there isn't many small and medium people playing DFS. I'll tell you that.
You can send me a small one too. Because
you are fitting in those small.
My belly button.
Stop.
No, belly button.
People don't want to see that belly button.
Oh, yeah. You want to see that? And I'll cut some holes in it, like a hole punch. It'll look like it's a mesh shirt. Dude, people are going to be signing up left and right. It is going to be so awesome.
That's definitely a better idea than having Mangone come on for the ladies. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean that ain't gonna.
You guys are so mean to him. He just
see Logan Brantley right here hopping in there. He said, "I'll take a medium." That's a good way for us to rig the drawing for you, Logan. You get it in there, and you might end up a winner.
Now we're gonna get everyone's sizes as we go.
It's a good way to get your name up to the top of the list.
150 likes, or you wear a small. Those are the two ways.
Exactly. That's
if you wear a small, you're almost automatically going to win today. We might have 2 to give away. That's a great idea, Big T.
I actually like that idea too. 150, or we send you a small.
Padres. You know what? I lied. There's 4 teams that implied total over 5 because I didn't see San Diego and Oakland. So the Padres taking on the Rangers. It's not the easiest matchup for the Padres going up against Gibson, but I mean, this offense is just any point in time. Trent Grisham's hitting third now, it's hitting leadoff now. This guy has been a revelation. Him and Gossie Goslin from the Phillies, just bang. Guys that start with G in their last name have been crushing this year. JSU, Padres, Texas. How popular are they going to be tonight? How much exposure?
Yeah, well, I'm not taking bats against Lamet, so I'm probably staying away from the Texas side. From the San Diego side, though, I definitely have a little interest in this side. Problem is Tatis, really and truly, you should just play him every single slate pretty much. He's just that good. He's getting in that Soto, Trout, like where you just like, he's one of those guys where you might just want to start plugging him in every single slate because he's 5,100, and honestly, that might be too cheap. He's just that good. So I if anyone, like he's my top shortstop by far. If I had the money to spend up at shortstop, like 100%, I will be spending up for Tatis. But as a stack, I mean, I don't know. Like we're gonna get into another team or two when we finish these other 2 games that I think I just have a little more interest in. So I think outside of like a one-off or a mini stack with, like you said, like a Grisham, one of these like cheap San Diego bats, I'll probably or Tatis, obviously, I'll probably be staying off the full stack though of Gibson.
All right, Big T, how many Rangers you got in your lineup tonight?
I mean, first of all, Kirk Heinrich says, I'll take a small just for this. We got Kirk Heinrich, former NBA player, watching us.
I know his sister really well, which is very odd.
What's
Yeah,
up, Kirk Heinrich?
Yeah, because I went to
Baseball
Kansas.
show?
And sister,
He was a good basketball player, Kirk Heinrich. He was
Yeah.
a very
Terrific
solid
for a long
basketball.
time.
Yeah,
Oh, man,
he
well,
was.
I mean, we may need to send him a small, just out of respect for his hoop game. But yeah, the Padres, I mean, the lineup looks not great, but again, like they mash every night, it feels like. These guys, Tatis and Machado especially, just crushing the ball. Grisham's always much better against righties. And the thing I like about the Padres tonight is the little wraparound ability. You can go down to Josh Naylor in the 8-hole, who is 2,400, and Hedges 2,500. So if you play 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, you got three cheap guys and 2 studs, which is, to me, is an optimal stack of how I like to build it. You got them all in a row, 2 studs and cheap guys. Everything you could want in a stack is that. So, I mean, I'm never playing Hosmer. I'm never playing Will Myers, really. I don't even know who Cronenworth.
Oh, Jake Cronenworth? Come on, man.
What is he, another prospect that I get made fun of for? Is he one of those?
Man, you did a good job. I love Cronenworth.
Yeah, I mean, he's been in the lineup all year. He's been solid, but I'm not playing Profar either. Literally, it's like the easiest stack for me because my favorite 5 guys, if I had to pick 5, are the 8, 9, 1, 2, 3. So, the Padres are definitely on my list. And, I think it's one of the better spots. I mean, Gibson's been decent, but the Padres have been better. They've been just crushing the ball, and I like that spot a lot. And then I kind of, even though I love Lamet, I've always played Danny Santana against right-handed pitching, and no one's going to play him. He'll be another just totally off-the-wall play that I like, that it's just a 1% play. Like, no one's going to have him, and he has always had upside against right-handed pitching. I could put him in. I would probably only play him with my Padres just in case this game. You never know what happens in these games. Sometimes it just goes crazy scoring. And I don't hate that. Throw a little 5-man Padres with Danny Santana coming back. Might just be the way I go tonight.
How much do you hate that, JSU? You
He
just checked
loves it.
out.
He always likes my baseball ideas.
I don't hate that at all. I just don't know if I'm going to have the money to get like the Machado and the Tatis.
You will when you play a 2,400 and a 2,500 dude right there in your stats.
That's true. All right. I mean, maybe I got to rethink it a little bit. I mean, we're going to get to another team that has some cheap guys too in a second that I like as well. But I don't hate it, actually. Honestly, the team I'm waiting for is the San Francisco team. We're going to get to them in a second, but that is the team that I'm 100%. I know Tony's going to be on it too, but
how could you not be?
It's just
we should have just started
guys.
the show with them and then just ended the show. Like, that's what we should have.
Yes.
We should have talked about pitching and then the Giants and then just left.
Well, fine. Let's just go.
Fade everything else. We're just going to play the Giants and the pitchers.
Well, let's just go to the end of it then. Because again,
we got to talk about my Reds too. Like I was.
All right, fine. Yeah, Cincinnati, St. Louis. We'll save the best for last. I'm glad you guys.
My 2 favorite teams are for sure the Reds and the Giants. By the way, tonight. So I talked about the Padres, but if I was playing only one team, it would definitely be the Reds Giants mix because the price tags are just egregious on the Reds. I mean, you can play Shogo 2,800. My main man, Freddie Galvis, against right-handed pitching, 3,100. Tucker Barnhart, who I like, 2,700. I mean, Jesse Winker, I don't really like, 34. Moustakas is the only expensive one I like. It's 48. But you can afford one expensive guy when you're playing a bunch of cheap guys no matter what. So I like the Reds. I like the cheap guys more than the good guys. Like I don't really want to spend up on the Reds. Like I'm not going to play Votto and Castellanos and Suarez and these guys. So that's where it gets weird in baseball for me because when I say I like the Reds, everyone naturally that doesn't know me will assume I'm playing these good guys. I like the Reds for the bottom of the lineup and these cheap to go with Bieber, to go with Kershaw, to go with Sonny Gray, to go with Lamet, all those guys. So I like the Reds, but the Red scrubs.
Red scrubs. What about you, JSU?
This is why I like doing a show with Tony because we haven't talked all day, and like we can get on, and I'm pretty much in exact agreement that I'm playing the cheap guys. I'm not going to probably be paying up unless it's Moose, which, like Tony said, you're gonna have money for one, but I want the scrubs, and the prices are just ridiculous. Like too cheap. Even Winker. I mean, Tony doesn't like Winker that much, but like he's still too cheap. Like if you needed another guy, like he's still in play and he's cheap.
I just hate him because he
like
sucks. Like he just is terrible.
I know, but he's still too cheap at 3,400. Like it's still way too cheap. So I don't know. I think these Reds are definitely in play.
So you like Suarez, right? I mean, what about Castellanos? I didn't hear any of you talk Castellanos. He's just one of the too expensive guys.
Yeah, he's too expensive. I'm not going there.
Big T, staying away.
No, I mean I like him for sure, but man, I can't pay that price for him.
I mean, he's 2,700 on FanDuel.
Well, back to the point though, FanDuel, like you can, I like him way more on FanDuel for sure. But then you go to the same point, it's like I can get my bottom of the lineup guys just literally unowned. So I play ownership on FanDuel. Like some days on FanDuel, I'll literally leave like 4K on the table, and no one does that. And over the years, I've just won so many tournaments because of it, where if I would have played the top of the lineup, I wouldn't have won the tournament. But I throw in a random one or two guys, especially on FanDuel, because you don't need to do it. So you do it anyways. Like on FanDuel tonight, if you play Van Meter when you could have played Castellanos, like you have the money for Castellanos, but you just play Van Meter just because, like that gets you different.
All right, guys. Got a couple more games here. You guys seem to really like the Reds tonight, which is nothing on the other side from that game. St. Louis?
Not against Sonny.
No, let's not mess Sonny Gray.
Sonny's been really good.
Sonny's been one bad. Get him out of a big market, man. That guy is terrific. I love it. So Oakland hosting Arizona this evening. Oakland going up against a left-hander, so you need to know about that to begin with. JSU, I feel like this could be a spot for you against Alex Young. I'm not sure. You're going to tell us here in a second. Then on the other side, Sean Manaea, who's still trying to round into form. Hey, you won me some money last year, JSU, because every time we do a show on Sundays and we had the Diamondbacks facing a left-hander, you said, just play your Diamondbacks, and boom, every week it worked. Where's that trend in 2020?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's 100% there like it was last year, but I will say I'm not afraid to play the Diamondbacks in this spot. They've got some guys who are just way too cheap. Christian Walker, 3,500 on DraftKings. I like him. Ketel Marte at 4K on DraftKings, way too cheap. Nick Ahmed in the 7-hole, 3K. I mean, I like this lineup. I like this team. I think I'll probably have more of the Arizona side than I will the Oakland side, but I don't mind some of the cheap bats on the Oakland side. Problem is, like, I like Simeon, I like Chapman, I like those guys, but a little too pricey. I think if I was getting a Simeon, like I said, I'd probably just try and get Tatis for 400 more. So I don't know. I think it's the Arizona side for me. If I had to choose one side, I'm gonna go there.
Big T, got any opinions on this one with the A's and the Diamondbacks? I mean, would you even think about the Diamondbacks against Manaea tonight?
Yeah, I haven't liked how Manaea's looked. So I do like the Diamondbacks, and it's hard because we talk about it every night too. Like you can't play all the teams, and it's so weird tonight because there's only 8 games. I said I don't like the 2 most obvious spots, the Dodgers and the Red Sox. I really don't like any of the early teams for that matter. But then we get to the late games, and I feel like I like a little too much in these games where I kind of like the Padres. I love the Reds. I like the Giants. And then this game, I kind of like both sides a little bit to where I need to start narrowing it down, even though there's only 8 games. And I just like the Giants and the Reds more. But, yeah, I mean, I don't like Manaea, so I have some interest in Arizona, especially like Nick Ahmed, Crone. You can go up top for Ketel Marte. I like Ketel Marte better against righties, but he's still solid in the 2. I mean, you got just cheap price tags. Another wraparound stack where if you played 1, 7, 8, 9, you could play anyone with it. It just works. It's cheap. This is another reason you can play 2 stud pitchers tonight, because now we've showed you can play San Diego with 2 studs. You can play Cincinnati with 2 studs. You can play San Francisco that we're going to get to with 2 studs. And now Arizona you can play with 2 studs. So there's just a lot of ways to go. And then the Oakland side, same thing, really. If you go to the bottom, like Pinder has always destroyed lefties. He's in the 8-hole for 2,700. The rest of the prices aren't as good. I mean, Mark Kana has always hit lefties pretty good too. So he's cheap. They're not as cheap. So I do agree. I kind of like Arizona more than Oakland just because of the prices. I mean, I don't want to pay top dollar tonight for hitters because I want to play these top pitchers. So I think it's Arizona for me over Oakland in this game.
Okay, this is the big one here. The Giants, Gigantes, nobody's giving them any love. I wonder how popular they're going to be tonight. I have a hard time thinking they're going to be popular at all. They're going up against a complete scrub. Suarez let me see here. I came up with some notes on Suarez. I mean, this guy's Jose Suarez, 81 appearances. 3.7 walks per 9 and 8 Ks per 9. This guy should be getting lit up tonight. Of course, it's baseball. We never know. JSU, where am I attacking the Giants tonight?
I mean, honestly, I like a lot of these bats, to be honest. Wilmer, I'm definitely playing Wilmer. It's nice, too, that these first basemen for the Giants, we got 3 listed, but 2 of them, at least, one's outfield, and Big T's boy, Darren Ruff, who's 2,800, just way too cheap. So you can play him, and you can still play, like, if you wanted to play Belt against a lefty, you could. Wilmer, who's second base eligible. I like Austin Slater at 3,200. I like him. I mean, I'm gonna play around with some lineup building, but I'm definitely gonna have probably at least 2 of my teams will be Giant stacks, and I'll play around with the stacks a little. I'm not just going to stack 1 through 5. I'm going to get a little different. I'll probably stack the bottom of the order or something like that, 4 through 8. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to have at least 2 Giant stacks.
All right, you got 2 Giant stacks. How many Giant stacks you got there, Mr. T?
Yeah, I mean, I love it, and just playing around with the roster builds as we talk here, like it is just way too easy to fit 2 studs with these offenses we like. So, I mean, it's just a slam dunk for me to do that. Even though we like some of the cheap pitching, I mean, you can get everything you need hitting-wise. It could be a night, too, where I play one. I find just my favorite bat overall and kind of put it with, like, Tatis or something in there with the Reds and Giants or something, just to get even a little weirder where – you got 1 stud, and then our 2 stacks we like, and then 2 stud pitchers. So, I kind of lucked into it last night where I played Tucker from Houston as like my one random guy, and he just went completely off. So it ended up helping on FanDuel. Sometimes that one random guy just gets you over the top, but it just fits so easy. This Giants lineup is just perfect. Easily my favorite team. I mean, Slater way too cheap. Wilmer always, Longoria too cheap, Belt cheap, Bart cheap. I mean, the whole lineup's too cheap. The only guy I really wouldn't play is Crawford. The rest of the line, even Yastrzemski, like no one is going to play him lefty-lefty, and lefty-lefty doesn't matter against a guy like Suarez. He's their best guy. We have enough money to spend as I'm building these teams because we have so many cheap guys that we can play Moustakas from the Reds and play Yastrzemski and still fit our full stacks with 2 studs. So the Giants are my favorite team, and anyone on this team is good except Crawford. My 2 favorites would be Wilmer and Ruff, like always.
And I mean, you can still, like, with this build here with the Giants, I mean, you could play, if you like Kershaw a ton, you could play Kershaw and Bieber together. Like, you could do it easily with this team. You could play Sonny Gray. Like, in the beginning of the day, it was probably going to be more Lamet and Bieber just for that extra saving. But I mean, like, I think I might be able to play some Gray and Bieber as well and mix it up a little just because of the Giants and how cheap these guys are. We got the cheap catcher too, which I always like in my stack, just playing a cheap catcher. You know, I don't have to pay a high price for him. So I like that. I like this team. And Yastrzemski, yeah, I mean, it's definitely gonna be tough, but I would like him if I can get him in my stack. Like, he's definitely someone I wouldn't want to leave out if I had the money, because lefty, like Tony said, it doesn't matter against a guy like Suarez.
I mean, it's basically impossible for me not to play Slater today. I mean, in the 1 hole, 3,200, and Wilmer for that matter. Like, those 2, I like Ruff, but I don't need to play rough. I have to play Slater and Wilmer. Like, they're just way too cheap in that 1 and 3 hole.
Oh, I'm playing all three. I'm
probably am too. I'm just saying, like, I am too. So I don't know why I even.
All right, the boys love the Giants and the Reds. I love the Giants, man. Always love the Giants because nobody watches them. They're up in the middle, unless you're just a complete nut job like we are. We're sitting, and I'm out west. You guys got to stay up till like 3 a.m. to watch the end of those games. So it's tough.
This is a good example from the bet side too. Like the Giants have been way better than people think. Their bullpen is terrible, which does worry me. But like everyone's going to like the Angels. The Giants have a much better pitcher, a decent lineup. Sure, I mean I'd probably take the Angels lineup. They got a few guys at the top way better, but and they're barely favored though. Like it's a short price tonight. The Giants just feel like a great bet tonight.
I was trying to find their run total. I couldn't even find it. I thought it'd be maybe 4.5.
Yeah, I mean it's not going to be higher than that.
Huh?
Yeah, like that's a winner. Like that's easy. I'm putting it in right now on the bet side.
I can't even find the total. Anyways, guys, we're running out of time here. And you guys are running out of time for free swag unless you want just the small shirts. I don't think, this is a consolation prize that I don't think is a really good one, to be honest with you, unless you're a really small guy.
Even JSU doesn't wear small shirts. Like
you don't wear small shirt?
No, I wear mediums. I'm a medium.
You're a big dude, too, for a short guy. I'm surprised that you're a medium. I thought you'd be a large, but what, does it go down to your knees?
No, it doesn't go down to my knees.
Wear it as a nightgown? God, I'm going to stop busting balls about the height. It's just too easy. It's stupid.
Tony, get rid of this guy. No, just get rid of him. That's it. The short jokes.
Yeah, seriously, it's just lazy. It's like calling Jason Whitlock is a fat ass. You call him fat ass after a while, it doesn't even matter anymore.
I've heard it all my life. You can't get to me with the short jokes anymore.
I was the third shortest kid in my high school until I tried HGH. It's not too late for you, buddy.
No, it's too late.
I put on 4 inches, man. It was amazing.
It's too late. No, it's too late. We don't need to get into the stories. It's too late. Trust me. I tried everything.
47. We got 47 more likes, or one of you guys is getting stuck with a small shirt. Can we just promise them they'll get one guy's going to get a small shirt today, Big T, even if they don't get the number?
Yeah.
All right, definitely. Good. That makes me feel a lot better. Small guys.
I found a team total for us on the Giants, too, while you were talking there.
What's that?
And the over is plus 100, so that's just like free money. That's a free
over. What's the total?
The total, I don't know what the overall total is. 9.
Around 9, right? But you can't find the Giants total.
I just told you what it was. You're not listening now.
What is it?
4.5 plus 100.
Oh, what the hell am I doing? Where'd you find it? What book?
On DK.
All right, fine. I'm going to go there right
away. Yeah, like that's free money.
That is. Oh, nothing's free, but I like that. You should post that. So stacks.
I just put it on my sheet. It's a free play from the.
What? You have so many things on your sheet. I can't even find it. You probably did have it on your sheet.
No, I just put it on the sheet.
I'll tell you right now. Looking at Tony's sheet will confuse 99% of the people who look at it. I'll tell you right now because that sheet.
I tailed him one night. I tailed Big T one night. And I literally have never placed 15 bets.
Yeah, you loved it.
Like his first 6 did not hit, and like his last 9 hit. And I'm going,
I know the night you were talking about it. Literally did that. It was
working with him. And then like
for 6, and then like the last 9 all hit.
Big T, total genius. What a smart guy. Who's your stacks tonight, JSU? Are we stacking the Giants number 1, 2?
My stacks, I'm gonna go with. It would probably be the Giants. Then it would be Arizona as a sneaky stack. So those 2 stacks, and then Cincy.
Big T.
Yeah, I mean we talked about it. San Fran for me number 1, Cincy number 2, San Diego number 3, I guess, and then I do like Arizona, Oakland, but I'll just leave it at those 3.
So if you guys are paying up for one bet tonight, okay, even if it's chalk, it's Tatis.
It's Tatis. Yeah.
I'm talking about.
I'm playing Wilmer over anyone. Like if I had to pick one person.
No, he said a spend up bet.
Spend up.
Like a spend up bet.
Yeah, but I'm taking Wilmer for the most points. because
Yeah,
he's
okay,
the
that's
he's the
fine,
best.
Play
but
along here.
we're not
understand.
spending up for Wilmer. That wasn't the question. The
Do we
question
have to, is there a requirement that I have to spend my money?
You have to tell me who you would play. How about that?
I would
say,
play
I
Wilmer
would play
over
this
anyone.
guy.
Yeah,
Huh?
Wilmer
God
over anyone.
Tony likes to change the question all the time. I'll be like,
Why do
Tony,
I have
talk
to
about
spend
the
my
9K
money?
range.
You said to take
And
the
he'll
best
start talking
hitter.
about the 7K
I took
range.
Wilmer.
You're like dealing with my 2-year-old. That's all it is.
I mean,
Grilled
we're gonna
cheese
get
or
2 bombs.
spaghetti?
You guys
Pizza.
don't like 2 bombs?
Huh?
No, I'm going to play Wilmer in all my lineups, but I'm not saying that. That wasn't the question, is
You
what
said
we're
if you could
saying.
If you're going to pay up for somebody.
He said if you could pick one hitter, who
No,
would you
I
pick?
did not.
said
I
That's
said-
not what he said. You're changing his words. That's not what he said.
Oh, that was kind of, you know what? You know what I heard? I heard you're giving away all the large Run Pure Sports.
There's not many left, so there might
That's
not.
true. Who's hitting a home run tonight, guys? Hold on. Wilmer Flores is hitting a home run. JSU, who's hitting a home run tonight?
This is
I'm
where I
gonna go-
circle back and say Tatis is hitting the home run.
God damn.
I know. I can't wait for that. I'm going to go off the board. I'm going to say Mike Yastrzemski hits a home run.
That's off the board.
He's the best guy.
Yeah, he hits a
A
home run.
lefty. No
Single
one's
night.
going to play him.
Yeah.
No one's going to play him. What are you guys talking about? He's
No, I mean, I'm
5,300.
just saying you pick their
No one's
best
gonna-
guy. I mean, what are you going to pick? Mike Trout next? Mike Trout
I
hits
meant
a
it's
home
like
run.
a low. I meant like as a low-owned play.
You're changing
Okay,
the question
whatever.
now, JSU. You're
I'll do what
changing
I
the
want.
question
All right?
on him.
Oh, that whatever.
All right, here we go. Anthony Santander. Home run. Home run.
Wow,
I gotta
and
say.
you called mine
I like
out.
that.
Huh?
The guys like crazy hot, and you're picking like one of the hottest hitters right now in the last like.
You
7
didn't
days.
like him? You took Baltimore and you went like this. You went,
Yeah, I said as a
Get outta here.
team. I said he's the one guy I would take.
so
And
ridiculous.
I get made fun of for going a lefty home run.
This show has gotten out of control. All right, we ended up with 106. So one of you guys is going to get a small shirt. I hope it pisses you off too. Jay Reed wants to know what I do in my free time. You know what I do in my free time? I pick you to get a small shirt. Jay Reed, you are the winner of the small shirt.
I like it.
Wear it as a diaper, towel, put it on, send us a picture. How awesome would that be if the dude is really big, he puts a small on, sends us a picture, and we use it on our Twitter feed?
Yeah,
be
I
awesome.
like that. I'll even send him a normal size one if he does that.
Okay, good. You'll get a normal size one too. All right, Big T, JSU. Awesome working with my guys here. Thanks for the time today. Good luck tonight, everybody. And again, if you were playing the showdown, it's too late now, right? The showdown slate with the Mets and the Marlins is about to start. They got the COVID, so don't do it. It's really bad.
Yeah,
So
don't
Captain
play
back
the
in
COVID
studio.
game.
Huh?
I said don't play the COVID game. That won't. Yeah.
Fade the COVID game. For Big T, JSU, I'm Holden. Thanks, Captain. We'll catch you later.